the ground. First sign. Goes big again. Grown up.
Watching the slow demise of the rupee has become a national pastime in 2019. Whether you blame this man, or this woman, the rupee's value fell by a shocking 49% in the space of just 2 years. Many believe the IMF has advocated for a free-floating rupee. Why is this important? Well, Pakistan has never really had a free-floating rupee. Instead, the rupee has either been pegged to the pound, the dollar, or been under a managed float system. Pakistan's obsession with its currency began right at the beginning.
We strove to make a great nation.
In 1949, the United Kingdom devalued the pound, but Pakistan refused to devalue the rupee, which hurt our export sector in the 1950s. In 1967, the UK again devalued the pound, and Pakistan again refused to devalue the rupee. In 1971, the United States effectively ended the post-war Bretton Woods system.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amount.
Major world currencies that had previously been pegged to the dollar became free-floating. Meanwhile, Pakistan pegged the rupee to the dollar. In 1982, Pakistan switched to a managed rupee system, which is ironic because that's when the rupee really started to become unmanageable. In a managed system, the State Bank of Pakistan lets the rupee trade within a certain range and intervenes by buying or selling dollars to keep it within the range. But on occasion in the past, the government has arbitrarily decided the exchange rate. Between 2000 and 2005, General Musharraf maintained the rupee at 60 to a dollar. And famously, between 2013 and 2017, Ishaq Dar maintained the rupee at around 100 to a dollar. Pakistan has often had long periods of pegging the rupee to an arbitrary level, which are then followed by periods of steep devaluation. As some commentators have noted, there are some flawed ideas that have managed to stay in vogue in the halls of power in Pakistan since partition, that somehow the absolute level of the rupee's exchange rate is a reflection of the government's success in economic management. So, what's the right way of handling the rupee? Depends on how you look at it. To make this easier, Team Soch illustrates the two main viewpoints. I'll be Team Free-Floating Rupee.
And I'm Team Fixed Rupee.
We need to let the rupee slide because that will make our exports cheaper.
What exports? It doesn't matter how much we devalue our currency. Our exports are of low quality and no one is going to buy them.
No one is denying that we need structural change to improve our exports. But how can we continuously prop up the rupee using our reserves? It's unsustainable.
But if we don't keep the rupee constant, then ordinary Pakistanis will suffer because of growing inflation.
Well, if you hadn't managed it so poorly to begin with, we wouldn't have these random bursts of inflation to deal with.
Look, it really just comes down to this. Do you hate poor people?
If you ask us, a complete free float is not a good idea for a developing country like Pakistan, and our government should intervene when necessary to prevent speculative attacks on the rupee. But our historical trend of overvaluing the rupee needs to end. It hurts our exports and forces us to borrow more than we can afford. Pakistan should manage the rupee, but our management needs to be better. A good export policy would also be nice, but more on that later.